Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the BAM Sports Show. I'm your host, Blake. I'm joined tonight by two of the most genuine dudes I know. We got Ryan,
Yeah.
and we got that dude down in Jacksonville. How are you?
Yo, what's going on, fellas?
Living that dream. And then, of course, we have the man of the hour, Funny Man. Guy, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. Out in New York right now, hanging out in front of the comedy club. I'm actually gonna go on stage in a few, but just loving the vibe. But I miss home.
I know you were doing
Birmingham, right?
you were doing a tour through Alabama recently, I saw.
Absolutely, we did. I think 11 cities. Man, the love was incredible.
Did you get lost and that's how you're in New York? Took a wrong turn.
So after the tour ended, I had a gig in Memphis / Tunica, and then I wanted to I try to go to LA and New York at least twice a year.
Oh,
just
for
to
sure.
see what's trending, see what I need to do, get the energy. So I just planned it all. So by my birthday in early August, I'll be rested and just ready to relax.
Oh, I
There
bet.
you go. Yeah. I'm
Get
sure it's
back
going to
in
be a
time
hell
for
of a
football
time.
season.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Getting ready for football season.
Man, listen, I'm so excited about this football season. I know the guys going to be on a revenge tour, plus everything that we got coming back.
You're talking
As an
about
Alabama fan,
Oh,
very excited.
Alabama. I thought you meant you were a big Ohio State fan. I thought that's what we were talking about earlier.
Y'all asking me off air, if I hate Ohio State, and I don't. Here's my three reasons why. Number one, I have three blood brothers. All right, I was born in Opelika, Alabama. All three of them were born in Columbus, Ohio. True story.
Oh,
they're Roll
all right.
Tide, but they were born in Columbus. Reason number two, I'm who that. I'm a Saints fan, and we can't operate as an organization without Ohio State players. So
That is very
good.
true.
And
Facts.
the third and very personal reason, somebody that I know who looks just like me and has the same face and body as me, they lost their virginity during the Alabama-Ohio State game in '95, I believe. So
Dang.
I got no quarrels with Ohio State.
Definitely not you, though, right?
Nah, not me. Not me. Just a guy we resemble. We resemble a whole lot.
I was telling Rick last week, I think maybe it was Ryan. So I went to UC, right? I grew up an Alabama fan, went to UC, so that's why you got the Alabama hat on, UC shirt. Sugar Bowl was great, it was a lot of fun. And I was telling Rick, one of the things that I loved about UC when I went there was the open campus. The football stadium is right smack dab in the middle of the campus. You want to walk through there during, going to classes, you can do that. Like I played flag football there. My claim to fame, though, is hooking up on the C-Paw in the middle of on the 50.
Nice. Sounds dangerous, but fun.
Yeah.
It was
so
ballsy,
I know,
if you will.
yeah, literally. So I know that we only have you for a limited time tonight because you got to get back on stage. So just a couple of questions we had for you because you're from Birmingham. I know you're a big believer in it. We love sports. We love football. We watch the USFL. We watch the XFL. Rick's rocking all of his Battlehawks gear right now. How was it being in Birmingham at the games?
Man, it was an out-of-body experience. First of all, the opening game, I had the honor of being the in-game MC. So, I was doing crowd stuff.
Oh, that's
during
sick.
The timeouts. Yeah, man, it was like the Super Bowl. And literally, the announcer who does the Super Bowl, he did that game.
Really?
There was a flyover.
No kidding.
Yeah, it was packed. It was just an energy, man, and you knew that the Stallions were about to take the heart of the city, and they did. And keep in mind, like the older generation who knew the Stallions in the '80s, they were already in love with them. So it was just out of body. And I went to games where Birmingham wasn't even playing. They just had a great staff, man. They showed a lot of love to the city. Just cool. I played catch on the sideline with Brock Hewitt. Got to meet Daryl Moose Johnston. It was amazing, man.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Big for the city.
Yeah, that is a really cool experience.
Yes.
Wow.
So then, are you slightly disappointed, or did you expect the XFL to kind of, not give Birmingham, because we beat that drum all week long last week that Alabama needs an XFL team, probably Birmingham needs an XFL team, and I mean, I'm from St. Louis. Rick is natively from St. Louis, so obviously, when the Rams left, we were all excited about the Battlehawks. They're back. We're thrilled. We're excited. Season tickets are already ordered. What's it gonna take to get a team there, man? Outside of the USFL, no, and I don't mean to disrespect the Stallions, but like, I feel like you guys deserve more.
I think the Bolts can come back. That was our XFL squad in 2001, I believe. And I got a raggedy T-shirt somewhere. But, I think right now, they're probably jockeying for a position, so they probably view Birmingham as competition because it was the headquarters of the USFL. So I get it. It's a politic, but I've been hearing rumblings of time that XFL and USFL may, eventually have a bowl game. Like your champ versus our champ, and how dope would that be?
That would be super cool.
And to your point, I kind of touched on this on our Friday show, but I almost wonder if the reason why the XFL didn't consider putting a team there in Birmingham was specifically because the USFL already does, and I know with them both being spring football leagues, I wonder if there would, kind of be a little bit of a clash there. So rather than trying to compete with another league in the same market, let alone trying to, I don't know what other stadiums aside from that one that the Stallions played at this year. I don't know if there's another stadium nearby. But I wonder if that was just kind of a financially savvy move. But I think that there are definitely plenty of markets there in Alabama that the XFL very easily could have.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. But y'all, I'm really in New York, so when y'all hear cars and everything,
you're fine.
Not a problem.
But no, there are markets, but let's be real. You gotta play it close. Like you gotta have your major cities, and Birmingham is right on that cusp between the small towns and the majors, so we kind of fit in. But I don't think you can have like Augusta Seahawks versus Chattanooga Firebird. You gotta throw some power in there as far as branded cities. So, so I don't know, Montgomery, Huntsville, Mobile, cities that I love, but I'm not sure that it would get it done in the early stages of these, these leagues starting.
Yeah,
sure. Fair enough. Yeah.
So
what was I? Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Rick. You're good. No, you're good, Rick. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so Blake had mentioned that you had went to obviously quite a few, if not all of the Birmingham Stallions games. I'm wondering, just from a pure aesthetic standpoint, watching the games on TV, it looked like really the Stallions were really the only team that had really much substance as far as attendance goes. So I'm just curious for you, like being in attendance, what was the vibe like at some of those other like non-Stallions games at that stadium?
Tell you what, of course it didn't look like huge crowds there, but 2,000 to 3,000 people in a 45,000 seat stadium is gonna look like that. But when everybody's there, they're locked in. Like the Pittsburgh games, you see a bunch of people in the stands in Steelers jerseys. And all those other teams got professional NFL teams, so they were repping their team. And then later in the season, they, started wearing the T-shirts of their USFL teams. Everybody was there having a great time. Like the people who put on the activations and the fan stuff during the timeouts, they weren't like half-stepping. They weren't on some. There's not a lot of people here, so we're just gonna chill. No, it was. You had the what's the game where they put the football under the helmet and then it goes around. And
the little shell game.
Right.
People were into that. Like everything that they were doing, people were scanning the QR codes up on the screen. It was a full fan experience. It was great at all the games. Sometimes that heat was a little bit much, but that's to be expected in Alabama.
For sure. So who? I know they haven't come up with team names yet. I'm not sure if you had a chance to look at the XFL cities, but early on, like who's going to be your XFL team?
I think Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay may be.
Well, they don't have a team, brother.
They did.
Yeah,
I thought they brought Tampa Bay back.
The Florida team
going
is
to
now
Orlando.
Oh God. Well, I guess I don't have a team. I thought they brought Tampa Bay back. Are we sure?
I'm sure. Yeah, it was. Tampa Bay is now Orlando. They had, like I said, they haven't come out
now
with team
Orlando.
names yet.
Yep.
Yeah, but Texas has 3 of them, so.
Oh wow. Well, maybe y'all know the answer to this, and I don't mean to put y'all on the spot. Who was the team that had "He Hate Me"?
I believe that was the Las Vegas team.
That was
I think you're right.
the Vegas
You're right.
Vegas team, right?
Yeah.
I believe you're
I'm
right.
looking it up right
Outlaws or
now.
something like that.
But yeah, that his one name made that whole league. Like he was the lead. I don't even know if the guy was good, but that was an awesome name.
And now, actually, so Las Vegas is one of the cities that are now, part of the XFL 3.0.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious to see, whatever it is that they name the XFL team this time, if there's going to be a player that like comes out with the "He Hate Me" or whatever on his jersey.
If I played for them, my name would absolutely be "He Still Hate Me."
He still hate me.
It'd be a really long, small letters.
Yeah.
So I know we're gonna lose you here soon, so I want to make sure I ask this question: How do the boys look for this coming season?
They look angry. They look focused. They look a year older. They don't have all the youth. Not only youth amongst the team, but the youth that was in the coaching staff and the training staff last year. Everybody kind of know what to expect. They've gotten older, and man, I tell you, that D line, man, I'm looking forward to the havoc that I think they're gonna, reap on a lot of people. So, also looking to see what young receivers are gonna step up. That's gonna be the big thing. But I think we got some talent to fill those gaps.
For sure.
It'll be interesting.
quick,
I know Ryan and I are both Bears fans, so we're really hoping that Willie ends up in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be something.
Yeah, sure.
Chicago definitely.
I would be
needs it.
thrilled. Easy there, Rick.
Hopefully we don't lose you too soon before we get a chance to ask this. But how, for our listeners, what socials are you on? Where can we find your material? I know you're on YouTube. How can our listeners find your material and your socials?
I made it very easy for everybody. I got the same name on all socials at Funny Maine, MAINE, and most of my socials, if you go to, there's a link tree link, so you can hit that. It'll take you to clips, tour dates, all that good stuff. But funny, you find Funny Maine. I'm the only one out there that I know. So you hit good that. Deal. It is pretty
good simple. Name, good branding.
I agree.
It's been okay, brand.
the numbers tell a different story.
Man.
No, it's good stuff. I've had a chance to check out some of your videos. It's good stuff, man.
Appreciate it, man. People always ask me where I got the name. It was literally only supposed to be the back end of my MySpace. My real name is Jermaine. Everything with Jermaine was taken. So I wanted to choose something that had my name to let people know that I was a comedian. And I chose myspace.com/FunnyMaine. But as I started handing it out on cards, people would introduce me as Funny Maine, and I hated it. And then it just stuck. So here we are. But that's all it was supposed to be, was my MySpace number.
That's funny.
Pretty good.
That's funny how it became your brand. That's awesome.
Kind of aging yourself there, or dating yourself there a little bit, referencing back to MySpace.
Hey. I had a MySpace.
I'm in the 40s now. Yeah.
We've all had a MySpace.
I think we got looked. I'm seeing the one crowd come out, so then we're going to transition back in. But let me turn to the crowd. This is the historic Comedy Cellar Comedy Club, if y'all familiar with comedy. So all your Seinfelds and everybody in New York have definitely played at the Cellar.
It is so insane to me that we are doing a podcast live on YouTube, recording it as well, and you're literally about to go on stage.
Yeah.
Dude, this comedy. This the comedy
That's-
light. This
no,
what I
this-
love. I was
that's
in
like
there.
Such
I
a
was in there
G
hanging out
move.
with,
Yeah.
I'm in there hanging with other comedians, getting ready to tap the stage, and then come out to do a podcast about college football. Dude, I'm in heaven.
That's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
That's
good deal,
awesome.
man.
I know, man. Your how Alabama fans watch insert week whatever, rolling, absolutely rolling. Like I don't know where you come up with some of that stuff. Like just dying. And one of my good friends, Shay, is a huge Alabama fan. He's watching the show right now. He actually commented on one of your posts the other day, and I saw it, and I was like, Shay, do you realize it's coming on the show? And Shay was like, wait, what? Seriously?
Well,
Shay has never tuned in, never checked us out, but he came in specifically just to check you out, my friend.
that's love. Well, first of all, sending love back to Shay. Hey, thank you for the support. And then, man, it's been such a blessing for the Alabama fans videos to, become a part of people's Sunday routine during the fall. It's amazing. I don't take it for granted at all. And, man, this fall, this will be my 7th season doing them. So I got so much in store.
Wow,
man.
really?
I'm going to give people a lot of content this fall. So
Excellent.
everybody that, that's been sticking with me and supporting it's going to pay off this fall for real.
Excellent.
Good deal. That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
congratulations.
No, thank y'all, man. Thank y'all. Congrats to y'all
course.
on putting the podcast together and
Thank
having two other friends that you could do a podcast with. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
Yeah,
it's,
there's
uh,
actually we're
yeah.
missing one. He's at the Rockies game.
Oh, wow. Sweet.
Yeah, he travels a lot for baseball. He's a big baseball guy. So
You a
I'm
baseball
with
guy?
my guy. A little bit, man. I'm with my guy right now, Roy Wood Jr. from the Daily Show. He's
No
a huge
shit.
Cubs fan. So yeah, he's right in there, just waiting on me to. I'm waiting on him to stick his head out the door and come on. But
Oh my
we're
gosh.
Birmingham boys. But when I got into comedy, when he was out in LA, he literally left the door open for me. And then when I come up here to New York, he takes care of me. So that's my guy.
Yeah, he's
Wow.
been one of my favorite comedians for a very long time.
Yeah. He's the comedian's comedian. Like,
Yeah.
the comedians love that guy. For real, for real.
so
y'all,
I
Bama
think-
Georgia
Yeah, I
this year
think
up by,
they're
we're up by 40.
blinking the lights and stuff, so I think they're about to start. But if y'all got one more good question, I promise that I'll answer it, and then I'll get it all back in.
All right, Blake.
All right, so when we see Georgia in the SEC title game, because we will, Bama by 50 at least, right?
No, I ain't gonna say that, man. Georgia ain't no slouch.
That's
I'm
true.
just saying this, man. I look forward to a good game between those two if we meet. But it's gonna be a tough schedule, starting with Texas, and LSU is always a great opponent. The Iron Bowl is gonna be what it is, and I'm looking forward to a great season. But if we do end up with Georgia and Atlanta, they know we ain't scared, and they know we got revenge on our mind.
I'm glad you brought Texas up. Are you excited, or do you think Texas and Oklahoma are getting in a little bit over their head? Because I'm a Cincinnati fan. We're going to the Big 12, so we'll get a year with them.
Yeah, now, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I actually have my cousin's child. I know that technically makes him my cousin, but I didn't spend a lot of time with him growing up. But me and his mom were very close. But he plays for Texas now. He'll be a
Oh, wow.
freshman, so look out for
No
Justice Finkley. He's
Justice
huge,
Finkley.
man. He can ball. Absolutely. That's my little cuz. So it's gonna be tough rooting against Texas, but me and her have already talked. She know what time it is.
That's exciting,
deal.
brother. Well, we really appreciate you jumping on. Everybody, make sure you guys check out his stuff on YouTube and Twitter. We won't keep you from your audience. We know that they're waiting and anxious to see you up on that stage. So, like I said, we greatly appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to hop on here with us, dude.
No, man. Thank y'all so much. I am humbled by the invitation. And let's plan another one, man. Let's do it again.
Yes.
We're not,
Yeah.
rushed off a little closer to the season. Whenever y'all call, I promise y'all, I'm coming. I promise.
All right.
Keep
I
doing
love
your
it.
Oh,
thing.
we appreciate
Guys
it,
that
brother.
are watching, y'all keep supporting this great
Hey.
podcast, please.
Thank you,
I
man.
appreciate
Thank
that.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right,
Appreciate
We
that.
man.
Thank
appreciate you so much, my friend.
Roll Tide. Roll
Go
Tide.
go break a leg.
All right.
Roll Tide, roll, baby.
Holy shit, that was cool.
That was really
That
cool.
was
I'm glad
It's
you didn't tell him
insane.
to break a toe.
Fuck off.
Man,
And of course, my goddamn dogs are gonna like Vision never barks ever in the middle of a show. He's freaking out at the back window. Like, come on, man.
Blake,
What? What?
That was cool.
St. Louis treats.
That was
I'm
fun.
gonna talk about. I know we're recording and we're live, but I'm also quite a bit zooted. Schnucks has the St. Louis delicacy, butter cake, condensed into
Gooey
a
butter
cookie.
cake.
Yeah.
Into a cookie.
No kidding.
Yeah.
You
They're
know what
really
that sounds
good.
like? No, it sounds like diabetes.
You know what's crazy? Like my year, or excuse me, my birthday in 2020, you know, the COVID year or whatever. My wife and I, like, we really couldn't get out much, especially in California. Like, everything is locked down. Like, you need to have a pass to use the bathroom in your own house. I'm kidding. But anyway, so we really didn't get to get out and do much for my birthday, you know, because like lockdowns were still the new hotness and whatnot. And so my wife asked, you know, she wanted to like bake me a cake for my birthday. Now, mind you, she's never even seen or heard of a gooey butter cake, let alone had it, you know, or tried it. But I told her I wanted that, and she found a recipe
Oh, you're
online.
a dick.
And I'll be damned if that wasn't the best gooey butter cake I ever had.
Really?
Surprisingly enough, my wife.
Okay,
makes
Bethany
a
Horn.
phenomenal-
Okay.
I mean, honestly, like not even like trying to be biased because it's my wife. Like, all joking aside, like hands down, it was like better than restaurant quality gooey butter cake. It was
Damn.
phenomenal.
St. Louis delicacy.
Absolutely, it'll
Man.
clog your arteries,
Yeah.
but it will
It's
warm
true.
your soul.
That's true.
So I think I found it interesting that he said because TV did not portray it like that at all.
What do you
For the
mean?
USFL.
Like lively? Or
Like,
well?
Yeah, no, they
Like,
portrayed it like there was like
It looked
one
like it
fan
looked
for,
like
like,
it
every
was
5
there nobody
rows.
in the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
right.
Yeah. And it's really interesting to hear feedback from someone that was there because it sounds like it truly was a great experience for fans.
Yeah, we've all talked about it on the show that I fell off, and it was like one of the main things is it felt like on TV there was no fans there. I wonder if I would have actually paid more attention to the season as it went on if they showed it really how it was.
Yeah, and like I'll lend credence. I thought that the USFL championship game was actually very entertaining, and there was a decent crowd there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually like a
Well-
pretty good game. So, but absolutely, it just felt when you looked at it on TV. Now, mind you, I didn't tune in, to check on the attendance of every single game.
Right.
But, when I would tune in from time to time, during non-Birmingham games, like Blake said, like it really felt like there was like nobody there whatsoever, almost. Like a smattering 3 or 4 fans here, go down 10 rows. There's another 3 or 4 fans, And, but no, that's interesting. I mean, and it makes sense. Like if you think about a stadium that normally houses, I think what he said, like 45,000, and there's like 2,000 or 3,000 people there. Like, of course it's going to look like not that many people are there, but like the people that are there, sounds like from what he said, had a hell of a time,
It makes me
And I know-
more interested to watch it,
Yeah.
knowing that there are fans there.
Yeah. But again, like I think that they can't do that next season with the XFL, like already having come out and established that, we're going to play in our host cities. There's no way that they survive
Yeah.
like on aesthetics alone with the XFL coming out and like, putting teams in like their actual home markets.
Right.
So
Well, and how about that little bit that he dropped there? I mean, it was very subtle. He was just like, "This is what I'm hearing. How about a bowl game between the two leagues?" Like,
that would be dope.
That would be sick.
That would be sweet.
But again, I still am of the impression that we have maybe one more season of the USFL. I just don't know if you can support two minor league, I guess, professional sports. And I'll go out and say it, seeing the pay scale for the XFL players, I'm a little shocked at how little they're paying them. So I'm a little worried about the quality.
Okay, so hold on, because I want to discuss that a little bit. I want to discuss that because you and I, Ryan, I think you and I were talking about like comparing it to like minor league baseball, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I read the XFL stuff, because if you compare XFL 3.0 to XFL 2.0, these guys are getting a pay raise. Like they're going to make more money now under the new XFL than they did in XFL 2.0.
Mm.
So when I looked at it, I was like, okay, well, these are at least livable wages. Like they're going to make good money. Like they're not making NFL money by any means, but I think it was what $5,000 a week.
It's $800 a week for the training camps. 5,000 each week of the 10-game week.
Sure.
10-game week season. $1,000 victory bonus. Meals and housing paid for by the XFL, but I wonder if that's only through the season. Health insurance is provided, can add family, but at a cost.
Right. That's exactly what I was about to hit on. So I watched, not the whole thing, but the majority of the XFL town hall.
Mm-hmm.
And, excuse me, they had talked about that, how they have an agreement with the NFL Alumni Association where like players, the number 54, the players like that don't make it through, the undrafted guys that, don't end up making it through waivers, I guess, for lack of a better term, they automatically get a contract with the XFL. And, the most of the time, like we're talking about young guys, like we're not talking, other than onesie twosies here and there, like a lot of these are going to be like younger guys. Like you're not going to go out and get somebody like Julio Jones's age and toss them onto the XFL. Like these are young guys who are probably already not making a ton of money. Like, think about like starting any new job as like a young kid.
Yeah.
Like they're not getting $5,000. Like when you were 20 years old, you were not making $5,000 a week.
Dude,
the average American.
I'll be 37 next week, and I am not even making close to that a month.
Right, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, and they're getting their housing paid for.
Right.
And their like insurance and all that. Like, so it's not a bad gig.
No, it's really not.
I mean, you're looking at about $50,000. Like you're looking at about $50,000 a season, right? Give or take, right?
Yeah.
Depending upon winning bonuses and stuff like that.
And
that doesn't include the training
taxes.
camp money, which is training camp money. I think they said training camp was what, 10 weeks, 8 weeks,
5 weeks.
5 weeks. Okay.
Mhm.
So, I mean, these guys are going to be making $55,000-$60,000 a year to be on a losing team.
True.
Yeah. That's not even counting like win bonuses, like you said. An extra potential, you have a perfect season, $10,000, and like then whatever bonus money they dole out for winning the championship.
It's still, though, it's like peanuts compared to just like the minimum in the NFL.
Oh, certainly.
If you're just
but then,
on
like,
the
you also-
53 man.
Understood, true, but like you have to kind of keep your expectations in check. Like,
Right.
They were already not going to be getting any money for playing football.
That's true.
Being, an undrafted, unsigned guy. At least The Rock is like being like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
we'll put some bread on the table for you and let you get some film out there. We already have an agreement with the NFL Alumni Association that where if you don't get drafted and you don't end up getting picked up as an undrafted free agent, you automatically get a contract with us. You come in, you work hard, play your ass off, and play a season with us so the NFL scouts can take a second look at you, and then you get another chance, to get an NFL contract.
True.
It's not a bad gig. I think that partnership that The Rock and Danny Garcia and all those people on their team
Right.
made, like with the NFL Alumni Association. I think that was phenomenal. Like I think not only is it beneficial to the players, but I think that was an extremely savvy move that was mutually beneficial to both the NFL and the XFL. Because for the NFL, I was reading too, like part of the partnership is kind of using the XFL to like test out like different means of innovation.
Yeah, we had
rules.
We had talked about
things of
that
that
being
nature.
kind of close to the Atlantic League, which is an independent ball league
Mhm.
that is partnered with MLB to like
Right,
test.
exactly.
They're the first place that had the robo umps and the pitch clock and all that.
Right, exactly. So it's mutually beneficial because like the NFL can use the XFL as a test dummy, as it were, and also to scout talent. Injuries happen throughout the season, or hey, you know what? Like, damn, like look at that kid. He's like the third string running back for the Cleveland Browns, Dearness Johnson, who was a monster during. Now, mind you, they only played like half a season, but he was by far and away like the singular most valuable player in the AAF. And that one start that he had to play this past year, it was when the Browns actually had Case Keenum starting under center against Denver, and Dearness Johnson was starting for the Browns.
He helped me
And I think he put
win
up-
a championship this year.
I think he put up like 178 yards from scrimmage or 180 something yards from scrimmage, something like that. Like, again, with Case Keenum under center against the Broncos, like that's not bad. Like, but again, like, so having that footage and stuff like
Right.
that, it's beneficial to the NFL, like to have a means to like evaluate talent that they wouldn't have otherwise looked at. And so I think it's
it
great.
gives guys a chance to, like if you don't make the practice squad, then you're done
Right.
at that point
That's
for the
it.
most part.
Yeah.
Right.
So
That-
I guess
that's it for you.
it gives them an opportunity, which makes me wonder too, as a part of that NFL partnership. I wonder if it can expand into, maybe a funnel that teams, like a practice squad, sub
Like
practice
Team 9
squad.
with the XFL.
Yeah, exactly.
Now that
In
Rick,
2020.
that's a. Yeah, do we have a Team 9 this year, or in 2023? Have they
I'm
said
not-
anything about that?
They haven't said anything yet that
They
I've
haven't
seen.
said anything, although I'd be curious because like right now I know they just had like all of these showcases and like combines, if you will, in different cities. So I'd be curious to see if they have a talent pool of like guys that they say like, you know what, all right, all of these people are eligible for the XFL draft, and understood that like, yes, they'll eventually like funnel players through from the NFL partnership, they didn't end up getting picked up as undrafted free agents or X, Y, and Z circumstances. I'm sure for at least the first year or two, like there's got to be, guys that didn't make the XFL roster that, need to like stay ready in case like, an injury happens or something like that. That, oh, shoot. Okay. Well, I see that Johnny Smith, is another wide receiver that we could pick up, that's chilling on Team 9, which again, I don't know if Team 9 is still going to be a thing.
I liked that idea,
Yeah.
when they implemented it. As an
It was like the league-wide practice squad.
Yeah, I think it was a cool idea. Just as a comparison, I was curious of what the USFL pay was. $600 a week for training camp.
Oh yeah.
$4,500 for being on the active roster during each game. Practice squad players make $1,500 per game, and they said $850 per win and $10,000 if they win the championship. So, it's
So a little
It's
bit
like-
more financially better. Right?
yeah. You the XFL is, and it says the NFL's minimum salary, by contrast, is $705,000.
But there again, like
That's
even
right.
and
Yeah,
like they have like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like there is a direct link
Right.
between the XFL and NFL. So I just for that reason alone, I think branding concepts. I think that the USFL teams were terrible. Like the logos and everything was terrible.
Yeah. It was
Branding,
really
I think
bad.
that I think that the name value with not only just The Rock, but some of like the coaches that they brought in. Like there's a lot of name recognition there. And I think certainly are better names than Jeff Fisher, right?
Hey,
better
man,
coaches.
perpetually
I feel like
500.
I think that Wade Phillips will be a better XFL head coach than Jeff Fisher was a USFL head coach.
Or an NFL head
Well,
coach.
also, I mean, Wade Phillips is just a better coach than Jeff Fisher in general.
Yeah, so is my dog.
I think what shocks me though is, to your point, Rick, with the NFL and the XFL so closely related now with the partnership and stuff like that, I'm shocked at those numbers being as close as they are between the USFL and the XFL. Right?
I am and I'm not.
I mean, you're
like,
talking $150 a week, $500 a week, right? Difference because it's 4,500 as opposed to 5.
But I'm curious, does the USFL pay for these guys' housing?
I was looking for that right now.
Well, that I don't know.
I don't see it on there. So the housing is a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is. Well, and I think it was what Lamar in our group chat the other day. It was banging the drum. He's like, "Oh, it's just The Rock. It's just The Rock. It's just The Rock." The Rock is just the face of it, man. They have some serious power players in that office there in Dallas.
There's, and I've kind of brain dumped it since then, but I had started and really didn't end up sticking, but I had started a podcast a couple of years ago on, I have a YouTube channel that's still up called Gridiron Junkies, where I had actually went in to more detail, like about like Danny Garcia and how much of an absolute marketing Goliath this woman is. Like she basically made The Rock what he is today. And the guy, Jerry Cardinale, the guy that kind of the third person in this like power trio of XFL ownership. He is the founder and CEO of Redbird Capital Partners. And I know that if I remember, the Redbird Capital Partners manages over $4 billion worth of assets, and had founded different like entertainment and like hospitality type things with like the New York Yankees or the New York Mets, one of the two, I can't remember, along with Legends Hospitality for the Dallas Cowboys. So he has some heavy hitters with him. Like, yeah, it's easy to say, oh, well, okay, like, they're just getting hyped up because The Rock. Like, no, sure, he's the face of it and he has like a vision for it, but he's not coming in, just like Vince McMahon. Oh, I have a dream of having a football league. Like, no, he has like legit Goliaths in their respective worlds. Jerry Cardinale in the world of finance and Danny Garcia in the world of marketing. Both absolute like unspoken Goliaths. So I think, and just like I said, that partnership that they have with the NFL now, no disrespect to Vince McMahon, I just don't know that he could have ever come to an agreement with the NFL or anything like that. I just don't know that his personality would have meshed with Roger Goodell or anything like that well enough. Whereas The Rock is like a lot more personable.
Let's say the collapse doesn't happen and the XFL finishes the season, has a second season. I don't think it would go for 3 or 4 seasons. I think it would just be done again, and I think it's because they'd be tied to Vince McMahon, who has the Vince McMahon's history and still ties to the WWE.
Right. Well, and credit to Vince McMahon. I think that, in 2020, and Blake and I were talking about this on Friday, the 2020 XFL was doing really well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was just starting to really catch its stride. I mean, St. Louis alone, they were projected to have like upwards of 50,000 plus fans at their next home game, which they easily could have done during their home
Yeah,
opener.
they were
but
talking about
just-
opening the upper deck.
That's
Right.
insane. The Rams
They just
didn't even
didn't-
open the upper deck.
But anyway, no, like so they were doing well. It's just unfortunately COVID shut everything down.
Right, yeah.
But I think and I was kind of I don't want to beat the drum on this too much, and we already talked about this on Friday, but I know you weren't here. I think that in a way, it was almost maybe a blessing in disguise
Mhm.
because I think that The Rock and his team. I don't want to just say like The Rock, but I'll just say the new ownership.
Right.
As I don't want to overemphasize The Rock. The new XFL ownership, I think, is going to be able to do more
Mm-hmm.
with the XFL than I think Vince McMahon ever could have done. And again, that's with respect to the fact that the XFL in 2020 was doing just fine. Like it was not a failure on the XFL's part in 2020. Right. It's just some super shitty circumstances.
Correct.
But again, I think in a way, it was almost a blessing in disguise because now I think it can be taken. The ceiling for where the XFL can be now, I think, is greater than it could have ever been under Vince McMahon.
That's again, that's kind of where I was going with that. Is I don't think that they would have been able to sustain without The Rock and Danny and the third guy, I forgot his name, without their
Jerry Cardinale.
Yeah, without their massive amounts of connections and networks. And you know, The Rock pretty much broke away from, like, everybody knows he started in the NFL, but when I think of The Rock, I think of the actor Dwayne Johnson. I think of Maui in Moana. Mm-hmm. You know, he's a Disney god now. And then, but like when I think of John Cena, when I think of any number of the other wrestlers, maybe outside of Dave Bautista, but I think that he is also a very excellent actor. I don't think he gets the credit for it. But, you know, I still think of the WWE. I still think of wrestling. So I think that he's far enough away, removed, that stigma of it being, oh, yeah, it's that wrestling league, that goofy wrestling football league, you know? Because that's what a lot of people thought when it first came out. I mean, the dude had "He Hate Me" on his jersey.
Yeah.
Like
No, the 2001 XFL was very, very gimmicky. And I think that Vince McMahon did a better job the second go-around making it feel like a legitimate football league.
Yeah.
And like very innovative.
And I think
the rules...
I think that right there planted the seed for the Rock's group to come in and be like, hey, we're the right people to do something with this. You know, hey, Vince, come on.
Right.
Come on, Vince, come on.
Yeah.
You can't say, and I know you want to diminish the Rock's involvement with it, but this doesn't happen without him.
Oh, no. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to diminish his role, but you know, like a lot of people are only thinking like, oh,
bring to light.
Right.
Like I don't want to underemphasize the team that he has around him.
Yeah.
Like it's not just him. Like there are other absolute powerhouse people within their own respective area of expertise that The Rock has with him that I don't want to underemphasize is really what I was getting at.
I get you.
Yeah. What I'm excited for is, because you know we're going to get a 30 for 30 Danny Garcia in like 4 or 5 years.
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because you watch Young, I don't know if you've ever watched the show Young Rock on, what is that, NBC? And it kind of like goes through like his like, you know, as he kind of grows up as The Rock, right? And like he goes to, I think it was Calgary, and he's in Calgary, and, you know, they tell him, hey, you're not going to make the team. And he makes a phone call, and who does he call? Danny Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
So you see the young version of her, and at that time she's working at a marketing firm. She's a young, you know, intern at this marketing firm, and it's just really cool to kind of see her side of it. Like, you know, you started as an intern at a marketing firm, and now you are arguably one of the most powerful women in professional sports.
Right.
You
No,
know,
she is. If
so
I'm not, if
I bet
I'm not
she
mistaken, she is the first ever female owner of a sports league, of a major sports league.
Yeah.
I
So
I agree, and that's why Rick, when she posted that picture on what was it, International Women's Day,
yeah,
I screenshotted it immediately and sent it to you and said, "STL's back, confirmed," because
yeah,
she was holding one of the
holding it.
Battlehawks footballs, and there's no way on that day that that picture is taken and she's just grabbing any football.
Right.
Like it's gonna
Right.
be
Toss
one
me
of
a
her
ball.
brands, you know.
No, yeah, of course. Like she picked the team
Exactly.
that was the XFL strongest market, and I'm glad you brought that up because I know we were talking a little bit about this during the pre-show, but something I had forgotten while we were talking on Friday. I know we had speculated about the possibility of the St. Louis XFL team not being called the Battlehawks. Something I had totally forgotten about, but I know there was an article a few months back. I can't remember exactly when, but I know that the XFL had filed, and this is after The Rock and Danny Garcia and that entire, cast of new ownership bought the XFL from Vince McMahon and Alpha Company. The new XFL ownership filed a trademark on the Battlehawks logo and name, along with, and I want to say you said it was the Seattle Dragons and the DC Defenders.
Seattle and DC, yes.
Yeah. No, I can't remember if there were other teams or not. In fact, I want to say actually,
No, it
that
was just those three.
I'm pretty sure that the secondary logo for the Houston Roughnecks they had filed a trademark for, not the one that caused a big hoopla like their primary logo. The secondary logo, I want to say they actually had filed a trademark for. I could be wrong. Anyway, that aside, I know for a fact that they had filed one for the St. Louis Battlehawks. So that said, aside from the fact that it would just be absolute insanity with how rabid St. Louis fans are with the Battlehawks name and logo, though it started out like kind of iffy, St. Louis has like really embraced it and just absolutely fallen in love with it. The fact that they spent money to file a trademark application for it,
Yeah.
I don't think that they would do that just because. Certainly they're not going to do it in fear of the USFL putting a team there. Because I don't think St. Louis wants a USFL team. But
and I said this on the pre-show, right? Like I really do think that any of the franchises that return to their cities, DC, St. Louis, I guess technically you can't even say Dallas anymore, but like Seattle,
Arlington,
I think those teams, I think they remain the same, right? Just think about it like maybe St. Louis is a bad example because I think St. Louis is going to support, like if they came out tomorrow and said, okay, it's going to be the St. Louis whatever, Aerosmiths or whatever, I think everyone would be like, this is some bullshit.
I think
We hate
Aerosmith
it,
would
but
say
we're
that's
gonna
some
jump
bullshit.
on.
I'm pretty sure
I
they
was
would be
just
the
pulling a name
first
out of my
one.
ass.
no, I hear you. I know
But you
the
see what
one.
I'm saying? Like, I think from a merchandising standpoint, like, if you are the XFL 3.0, you want as much of your brand out there as possible. So if you
Absolutely.
already have a preconceived brands out there that it's going to be free advertising and free marketing, why the hell wouldn't you leave those names the same? You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah. No, I agree. Which, I mean, I'm okay with like the name. Well, I know that it's stupid. So if you don't know, like, they're not going to call the Dallas team Dallas. They're going to call them Arlington, which is, the city where that ballpark that they play in is. It's the exact same. It's like literally just a couple miles down the road from where the Cowboys play in Arlington. I don't know why they're not calling it Dallas, but the Renegades, I don't hate the team name. And I really, though it's cookie cutter, the logo, whatever, it's still better than any logo that the USFL had. But I kind of hope that, well, I don't know. I guess their uniforms weren't terrible, but they were one of the, I don't know. I'm very curious to see what they do with the San Antonio team, though.
Yeah, that one definitely excites me. So before we move off XFL, because we do have a little bit of NFL stuff to kind of get into before we get out of here tonight. Ryan, have you picked a team yet?
For the XFL?
Yeah.
Battlehawks.
Hell yeah!
Attaboy!
just 'cause they're
the
close.
law is the motherfucking law,
Yeah.
baby.
Finally, we agree on something, Ryan.
That's
The
true.
whole show, I think. Well, we don't know about Rob yet, but Rob will probably be a Vipers fan, even though that organization doesn't even exist anymore.
That is because Rob poops standing up.
Man, have you ever actually thought about how hard that would be?
Not hard at all. I've done it before.
All right.
I've
You've
shit
never
myself
hovered
standing
before,
up.
Ryan?
Huh?
Well, that's true too, Rick. Hold on,
I have
Rick. Let's
shit
go back to
myself.
that story. Yeah, let's go back to the story. You what?
Shit myself standing up. You never had like diarrhea. You're trying to make it back to the bathroom.
No,
and-
I'm talking about like a proper turd.
Oh,
Just pinching
I was
a
about to say,
loaf.
not difficult at all.
Yeah,
standing
not
up.
peeing out of your butthole.
yeah. No, just
I'm
pinching
looking
one
at
off.
I'm looking at the teams, and it's just like the Dragons are cool, but Battlehawks they're like right here, and it kind of looks like a I don't know.
So,
It looks like an
cool
Air
thing about
Force logo.
A cool thing about that
Chair
logo.
Well,
is
that's what it's based off of.
If you flip
Ah,
it
the Chair
upside down,
Force.
if you flip it upside down, the logo, like the wings and the sword, actually spell STL, and the like part of the logo, like where the wings are, you can actually see the arch in it, and the two T's in the word Battlehawks on their font is the symbol pi 3.14, which is St. Louis's area code 314. So there's a lot of little Easter eggs in that logo.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. They did it
So,
on
all right,
purpose.
guys, we got about 5-10 minutes. Let's talk. We got training camps have officially all opened. All 32 teams are in training camp. It's exciting.
Yeah.
Rick, I hope on Friday that Rob
football.
will be with us so we can do our pitches to you.
Hopefully so. Yeah. I'm excited
I
to hear
mean,
your
we've
guys'
got.
proposals.
I think we said it was what. I think we settled on it was Jacksonville, Chicago, Tennessee were the winners.
I think Seattle was in there.
So those are not according to
gonna
the Twitter
retally.
poll.
Oh, I demand a
Not according to the
revote.
Twitter poll. But you didn't even vote?
I voted once.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
So earlier, I don't know if you saw this in the group chat, Rick. So Chicago rolled out all these new renderings of the updated stadium that they want to build or adjust or however you want to call it for the Bears. Mayor Lightfoot, came out and was like, well, if the Bears don't want it, maybe somebody else will. So there's all sorts of speculation now about a second team coming to Chicago.
Which doesn't make sense to me. Like,
Doesn't
No.
make sense, which
I don't
Ryan
think that-
agreed. And
it'd be like the
hold
same
on.
as putting a second team in Dallas.
So what to Ryan's point was it's going to be hard for any franchise to come in, new, transferred, whatever, any new franchise to come into the city of Chicago, a charter franchise city, and gain a fan base.
No.
But one of my friends, I shared the post about so they were talking about Jacksonville potentially coming to Chicago because Khan's already got connections to Chicago, this and this and this. And he said, why not Jacksonville to St. Louis? Because
I can see that.
Khan, he tried to buy the Rams before Kroenke did. But Kroenke had a minority owner, which we were kind of talking about this with George and McCaskey, right, Ryan? He had a clause in his minority agreement that basically said any opportunity or any petition to buy the club, you have an opportunity to match. If you
Mhm.
match, we sell to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I am all aboard this Jacksonville Jaguars to St. Louis because A, It's going to leave them in the same division as Indianapolis. Now you've got an hour. I mean, it's what, 2.5 hours to Indianapolis from St. Louis?
Really?
Something like that, yeah.
It's only no. It's got to be longer than that.
It's not that far.
It's 3 hours
I
for
don't
me.
think so, brother. I mean, I could. Well, you got to go right, but you have to come south to go over.
That's true.
Let me GPS it from my house, because I'm out here in the middle of nowhere. So, let me to Lucas Oil Stadium.
From Blake's house. Love Blake.
From my house. So now, mind you, I am past Six Flags. Okay, so I'm a good
Eureka.
45 minutes from the city.
Yep.
It is 4 hours and 5 minutes to Lucas Oil Stadium from my house.
Yeah, that makes sense because I'm 3
So
hours.
about 3-ish hours.
Yeah, but it makes more sense being there than Jacksonville. But would they just be the St. Louis
Oh yeah.
Jaguars?
Yeah.
What
I don't know if I'm feeling
I think
that.
they would probably go through a rebranding.
Yeah.
Right, like we've seen it, right? Typically every time a team leaves one city to go to another, there's some sort of rebranding, except for the dipshit Rams.
Well, and they
probably
kind
'cause
of like
Kroenke
pseudo
fucking
rebranded, excuse me. Like they changed the logo like from the ram head to like that stupid LA, like with the little curly thing around it. But yet their stadium is shaped like the logo that they used in St. Louis.
That's
Yes.
Kroenke pissing all over
And-
the town again.
And the Chargers share that stadium that is shaped like the Rams logo that was used in St. Louis.
So, I mean, and then we had Julio Jones signed today.
Man,
I mean,
Good old Champa Bay.
did you call him
I think-
Champa Bay?
If he wasn't going to retire, yeah, Championship Bay.
That's pretty
Champa Bay.
sweet. I like it. First time I've heard
Yeah.
that.
Tampa Bay.
I mean, you can't it's one of those like nicknames you can't really argue with, right? Because you look at like the Lightning, the Bucks, the Rays over the last couple years, like it's pretty fucking valid. But if Julio was not going to retire, Tampa was the absolute best situation for him, right?
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
he doesn't have to be that guy. He can be a big
Right.
body receiver, a third down red zone guy. Like he
Yeah.
doesn't have to carry the torch. You're going to have Evans and Godwin, and I
Russell
just think
Gage.
it's a better situation for him.
Yeah. And
Russell
that'll
Gage,
be neat.
yeah.
Neat little reunion for Julio, him and Russell Gage.
Oh yeah, they were.
Yeah, I feel bad for him because if you look at all the fucking Atlanta, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you watch all of the posts on Facebook and Twitter right now from the pundits. It's like Tom Brady's new wide receiving core. It's like a picture of Evans, Godwin, and Julio.
Yeah,
Well,
fuck
Julio's got
Russell
the
Gage,
name.
right?
People are sleeping on Gage though.
Yeah, no, I mean, 'cause
People are sleeping
mind
on
you,
him.
the Falcons were terrible last year, but if you look at tape on Russell Gage last year, when he essentially was the only relevant receiver for the Falcons last year, the kid looked good. He looked
Mhm.
really good.
Well, I was gonna argue there for a second with you because there's one name you're forgetting there in Atlanta, but he could
Old
probably
man
be classified as a
Zacchaeus?
running back.
Yeah, Cordell Patterson, I know, but like, I'm talking about
That dude was a fantasy fucking steal, baby.
He was.
I don't
He
wanna talk
absolutely
about it.
was. But yeah, should be interesting. I think it'll be funny if Gronk comes back, like just to have all that name value of like yesteryears. Like if you would have gone back to yesteryear and said that Tom Brady, Gronk, Antonio, I know he's not there anymore, but Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, like are all, playing for the same team, I would have like accused you of smoking crystal meth. Part of me almost hopes that like all of the psychiatrists in the world come together to like fix Antonio Brown and bring him back to the Bucks, like just for the memes. And Gronk, Brady, Julio Jones, AB, like just for the memes.
I think we end up seeing Gronk come back.
No.
I mean, even
Oh, I do
Gronk's
too.
wife has made the comments about, dude, week 10, week 11, he gets a call from Tom.
He's
Come on,
so
man, come
done.
back and finish 5 games and let's go on a run. I don't know, dude.
He's so done.
I'm curious. Tampa fans, if you're watching, tell us what you think. Do you think Gronk comes back or do you stay retired this year? I think
It
it
is
depends on where the
curious.
team's at. If they're up there,
He'll come back.
Kyle Rudolph's not Gronk.
He'll come
He's not
back
that
when
good.
Tom goes to Miami for 1 year
But
and wins a championship there. He'll come back for that.
When Tom's 57 years old.
Hmm.
But time out, Blake. You said that Kyle Rudolph is not Gronk. Sure, he is not yesteryear Gronk, but I think he's capable enough of being what Gronk is today to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That's
Hobbled
fair.
old
And we got
man.
we got one of my friends down in Tampa is watching. He's a big Tampa Bay fan, and he says he thinks Gronk is done as well. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Gronk's wife is wrong.
Yeah.
Who knows? Blake, I
It'll be
saw
interesting to
something
see how it
that
all
made
plays
me
out.
almost puke just now. I always have
that?
Twitter on during the show so I can see if there's
Mm-hmm.
any breaking news. It's fun to do that. And I just saw a jersey swap of Wilson Contreras and a Trastros jersey.
Oh God, no! I will. Don't do it. I will puke. I will puke.
Ugh.
You're right. Don't get me
The
started. on
heebies
Kevin
and the
right now.
jeebies.
Ryan, you know how I feel. Ryan, you know how I feel about it. And meanwhile, we got fucking Rick over there praying for fucking Soto. Fuck you.
Oh, absolutely.
I just want to see Soto get traded to St. Louis. St. Louis spend $70 billion to sign him, and then he just fucking quits. He just coasts.
He won't.
He's not gonna. Why would he? He's
I don't
naturally
know.
talented.
He won't.
He could try to
I'm
suck,
not-
and he's.
I
still
just
not
want
gonna suck.
I just want the Cardinals to be financially hamstrung by a player for a long period of time.
May your asshole sprout boils while
Hey, that Boyle is named Jason Hayward.
you sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, no fucking
You're welcome,
lie
by the
there,
way.
dude. No fucking lie, man.
You are welcome, my friend.
Hey, I'll give you a pack of gum, and we'll pay his contract. You take Hayward.
He'll be DFA
No thanks.
People are like,
next year at some
no
point.
thanks.
Yeah.
1.5 years left.
Yep.
Yeah, I just.
And then 4 more years of paying him $5 million a year.
At least it's not like Bobby Bonilla.
That's close.
Yeah.
The greatest contract in the world.
I love
though.
that contract.
Of all time.
Hey, speaking of contracts, man, what about all those players who got paid a whole salary in Bitcoin? How much money do you think
Yeah,
some of
that's
those guys
interesting, right?
lost? Because they were getting paid in Bitcoin at the peak, and now it is in a big, deep valley.
I mean, but that's the risk that you take. Like,
Who are we?
It
Who
is
All
known
Sunshine?
that
of your
Bitcoin-
salary.
yeah, but I'm sure like they weren't like, hey, your only option is to take
Right.
your contract in Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was an option.
No, it
for
was
them,
their
I'm
choice.
Sure. Yeah.
Didn't
that
wasn't
sucks.
that Trevor Lawrence that took a big? He took like 75% of his contract as Bitcoin.
I
Was
don't
it Trevor
know.
Lawrence?
It might have been.
It wouldn't surprise
I know
me. like,
OBJ
youngster.
did it. I know OBJ did it in L.A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was somebody in Texas, too, I think. One of the Texans linemen or something.
Oh, I was hoping you'd say Dak Prescott.
No,
He's not. No,
he's not dumb.
he's taking cash from Dallas.
I like
He's
Dak.
pretty dumb.
I like
He's handing that ball to
I
that
don't.
whore
I
Kamika.
have no love for Dak. But
So, training camp's open. Chris Carson retired today. Good for him.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
not under good circumstances, of course, but
Nope.
I'm glad
No.
the Seahawks are doing right by him.
right.
So I'm happy to see that. Other big news today is San Francisco came out and said that Shanahan, Lynch, and Jimmy G all had a meeting, and they're on the same page. It is Trey's team moving forward.
Okay.
No.
So I know we talked about it a little. Yeah. I mean, I don't think Trey's the answer in San Francisco.
I was not a fan of him going into the draft, and we'll see. We'll see. I was a really
So
big
where-
fan of
where does
Patrick
Jimmy G go?
Mahomes.
Ah,
I don't know. I think
Does
the
he
most
have-
logical spot.
Were you?
What? Was I
does
what?
he have a no trade
Big on
clause in his
Mahomes.
contract?
I don't think he
Who,
does.
Jimmy G?
Yeah, Jimmy
And
G.
yes, I was very big on. I wanted the Bears to take Mahomes at 3.
But instead, you took Mitchell Trubisky.
At 2,
I wanted
Yeah.
Deshaun.
Yeah.
I did not like.
So we got
Deshaun.
a comment on YouTube going back to the Bitcoin. Trevor Lawrence did take Bitcoin as one of his bonuses.
as one of his
Oh,
bonuses. Okay. Oh
At
well.
least it's not his main money. Thank you, Schaefer. Yeah.
Right.
So I think if I'm San Francisco, he probably gets cut. Right? Because I don't know a franchise is going to pick up the contract of $20 million.
No.
Him coming off of an injury. You don't 100% know what you're going to get. You know, Baker got what, a 5th round pick, and Cleveland took money.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, 4th for Jimmy.
Right.
Maybe a 3rd.
I don't think they go that high.
Well, it also I guess
I
depends on
think
how
he's
much
good.
contract Jimmy G has
Yep.
left, which I'm looking up right now.
I think it's 2 years, 1 year.
1 year. 1 year at 20
Yeah, so I
with
think
a
he gets cut.
26.9 cap hit, which is insane.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I
So
think
we
with
got
Blake, I think
another comment here. That guess who the number 1 player is on the Reds, or number 1 paid player by the Reds organization right now?
Somebody not on the team, I'm assuming.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Really? Good.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Good for him.
I think Keith said that the other night in one of our group chats, actually.
he might have. I wasn't paying attention. It's probably in the middle of a wrestling diatribe. You boys in your
And
wrestling.
Max Scherzer is getting $15 million. Hey, we got SummerSlam this weekend, baby. I'm pumped. And Max Scherzer is getting $15 million a year through 2028, split by the Mets and the Nats.
interesting.
I didn't know that one.
Yeah,
I mean,
those
neither.
are- Did not know that one either. Thanks for that information, Shay. We appreciate you.
So I'm looking up
All
from
right,
a couple
boys.
of days
so let's wrap
ago.
This up. Go ahead.
From a couple of days ago, the 5 teams that are interested in Jimmy G: Texans, which makes sense. Seahawks makes sense. Lions, which was a surprise.
Which
to
makes
me.
sense.
That does make sense. Falcons, again, makes sense. Dolphins, which was the surprising one.
Ooh, yeah,
Now,
that's spicy.
if the Dolphins are the team, does that make them a contender?
I
You
would
thi-
say yes.
With what they have and
No. Not any more than Tua.
Tua,
But,
the
hold on.
most accurate quarterback Tyreek Hill's ever played with.
Listen, Jimmy G, he's not like an otherworldly quarterback, but he's efficient. He's efficient,
And handsome.
and he already knows.
Think about all the MILFs he'll get in Miami.
He already knows that system. Is
Well,
what I'm getting at.
That's why Zach Wilson's trying to get traded there.
That's true.
He already knows that system that their new coach is bringing
Right.
there. So, and he has Raheem Mostert, for a game or two.
Maybe, if
But-
you're lucky.
Yeah, no, he already knows that system. They have plenty of pieces on that offense. I think that yes, absolutely, that makes them a contender if Jimmy G goes there.
I do. It's
No more than Tua.
no.
Everyone sleeps on fucking Tua. Everyone sleeps on Tua. He's not great.
He's not.
I'm telling you.
He's not like
Okay.
I think he's a fine
know.
quarterback in the mold of Teddy
Has he,
Bridgewater.
okay, let me ask you this question. Has he had a fair shake in Miami? Has he had a fair shake in Miami, personnel and coaching staff wise, for these comments to be justified?
Last year with Brian Flores.
Brian Flores with all the fucking no, dude. There was fucking bullshit rumors out there that he was going to be traded to Houston the whole fucking time. Your own fucking coach doesn't believe in you, so why the hell would you believe in yourself? It's the same thing as Matt Nagy in Chicago, dude.
Well, I mean, there's probably a reason.
I think Tua is a lot better than people give him credit.
that's fair, but like
that's
with
Blake's
Jimmy
Bama
G,
hat talking.
the question was,
No,
we're
that's
not
Blake's
taking
brain
Tua
talking.
anything we're not taking Tua into consideration whatsoever. The question was, with Jimmy G behind center for the Miami Dolphins, are the Miami Dolphins a contender? And I think the answer is yes. Both things can be true. We already have, what your argument is like, okay,
That's fair.
Tua has not had, the requisite pieces around him, personnel and, coaching staff, the whole nine around him. We don't know what he's going to be like under that system that their new coach, I forget the guy's name, Mike something or another. We don't know how he's gonna fit in that system.
Yeah.
We already know how Jimmy G is super, efficient, not like otherworldly, but efficient in that system. Jimmy G is a known commodity. So the answer is yes. If Jimmy G is behind center with those pieces around him, then I think overall, if he was put over there, he'd actually probably do better than he ever did in San Francisco. Like, I think he easily has a better wide receiving core.
Well, he's got more
than he
weapons,
did.
100%.
Well, I was going to say, think about how they have built this team versus Tua's strengths. It doesn't look like it really adds up. And I wonder if they've had the idea of Jimmy for a while. Like, I wonder the signings that they've made are with a look towards another quarterback that could become available and is now available.
But then I wonder what happens with Tua at that point. Like, do they just cut him, or
he's just Marcus Mariota too?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck off!
I think that Tua has
That is the
potential.
Alabama
Like,
hat
I
talking.
just don't think. I think that if I'm a Miami Dolphins fan, I don't hate that trade. I don't hate the move to go get Jimmy G.
No, I don't. I wouldn't if I was them. Like, I wouldn't hate that.
No, I wouldn't be like just, oh my God, yes, we're going to the Super Bowl or anything like that. But at least with Jimmy G, like,
they won't win the division.
Commodity.
We know that. I mean, that's Josh Allen's town now. But you get a wild card run, and then you're in the playoffs. Who knows what could happen?
I know what's going to happen in the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers is going to fucking lose.
It happens.
Love you, Keith. Did you see that thing today that I posted about since 2017?
Yeah.
Blake Bortles and Aaron Rodgers.
Bortles.
Which means that
I chuckled
Blake
so
Bortles
hard.
has more playoff wins than Dak Prescott.
That's true. Technically.
Yep.
Technically.
Did you see Jerry Jones's interview today
I did not.
about McCarthy or his comments? He basically came out and was like, if I didn't believe that we could win the Super Bowl with Mike McCarthy as my head coach, he wouldn't be sitting next to me, and I have options or I have choices.
Yeah. And no, and my
well.
response immediately was no. He wouldn't be sitting there if his fat ass didn't require a forklift to pick him up. I'm kidding, Cowboys fans. But
I'm
no,
not.
like, I don't.
That was your response.
No, fair, but I'm just trying to be, PC or whatever. But hell of it. No, he's a fat shit. But anyway, No, Mike McCarthy is not the coach that's going to get them to the promised land. And I don't think Dak Prescott's the quarterback to get them there, regardless of whoever the coach is.
Yeah, but he's a dancing machine. Look what he does with his hips. He's just gonna shimmy
It's
into the
all
playoffs.
All in the hips. Yeah.
No, I mean honestly, I think that the team would probably be better off with Jason Garrett as the head coach still, over Mike McCarthy. Mike, what's the little
Golf
tiny?
clap Garrett?
Oh, yeah, golf clap. Here we go.
No.
Golf clap Garrett.
You know, like
I don't care if they
So-
go out and go get Sean Payton. I don't think Dak Prescott is the quarterback. Like, and don't hear what I'm not saying, because as much as I like this shit on the Cowboys and shit
Mhm.
on Dak Prescott, I'm not calling Dak Prescott a bad quarterback at all. Dak Prescott is a very good quarterback, but I think a lot of Cowboys fans out there, not all of them, but a lot of Cowboys fans out there gas their team up to be better than what they are. You know, and I'm sure you could say, oh, well, Rick, you know, that's a lot of teams. No, like Cowboys fans take it to another level.
That is
and
true.
I think they do that with Dak. I think Dak is, you know, again, as much as I like the joke, I think that Dak is a decent human being and a very good football player,
Mhm.
but he's just not clutch. Like, you know, when it matters.
he's like a
You know what I'm
Tannehill.
saying? Right. Well, a more mobile Tannehill.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, Rob's gonna cut you for that comment.
He knows my feelings towards Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think with a better quarterback,
fair.
that team gets
I
to the
honestly
Super
think
Bowl. I don't think Tannehill
you-
opens that door.
If you were to take Kirk Cousins and swap him out for Dak Prescott and put Kirk Cousins behind center in Dallas, I don't know that the outcome of their season is much different.
That's
That is
fair.
That
That's
is a
fair.
very fair statement. That is a fantastic. Thank you for giving me something to post on social media, because that's fucking perfect. That's perfect. It's true.
And I know I'm probably going to get slaughtered by Cowboys fans for saying that, but Kirk Cousins is not a bad quarterback. You know, I
He's
think
been
the
robbing the
Vikings are
league
kind of
for
underrated.
years.
I think, well, of course, but I think the Vikings have been underrated because their defense has been pretty trash these past few years. But it's not been, you know, other than like, for whatever reason, Kirk Cousins is cursed whenever the Vikings play on prime time. But
I'm fine with it.
he puts up good numbers every year. He really does.
We're
He
Bears
puts-
fans, Ryan. We
y-
can't. Like, we are
yeah.
cursed on prime time.
Yeah, but Kirk Cousins pretty much always loses to the Bears. So
Well, but anyway,
That's
no, but I think if you were to put Kirk Cousins on the Cowboys and, you know, take Dak to Minnesota, I'm not sure that the outcome of the Cowboys season this last year. In fact, if anything, I might say like Kirk Cousins may not have been stupid enough to not give the ball like to the ref or whatever
right.
on that run play, like in the playoffs at home. You know, so maybe
that
that would've
reminds
been
me of
different.
Tom Brady's. Tom Brady's.
Yeah,
Four?
so maybe that would have
Four?
been different, but I don't think that there's really much of a difference between the two, other than like Dak's more mobile. But passer wise, I really don't think there's much of a difference.
Which team do you think would have had a better season with that quarterback swap?
Ooh,
That's a good question. That's a very good question.
I think Dallas, because of I think you have a better. Kirk Cousins is going to protect the ball a little bit better than Dak. He's a
Mhm.
little bit IQ wise smarter, and I think Dallas has a better defense.
Mhm.
So I think
Yeah, and
in
I think
that quarterback swap, I think Dallas wins that.
And that
and obviously
offensive
the-
line.
right. Well, and Dallas easier has a much softer division to play in.
Yeah, very true.
So
The NFC least, baby.
yeah,
That's people talk about the NFC North. I'm like, look at the fucking East.
yeah.
We've got
Like,
a good.
I'm not saying the North
Division.
is good. We're not good.
We're fine.
Who the North?
Yeah. We'll have four
Like-
teams in contention in the next year.
It didn't the Eagles make the playoffs a couple of years ago, like with a losing record?
Somebody did.
Yeah.
It was 7-8.
It was an
Yeah.
NFC least team for sure. I want to say it was.
Or was it the Washington football team? I can't
Somebody.
remember.
I don't know.
There was a team that went to the playoffs from the NFC East with a losing
We're really
record.
good on about knowing our shit on this show.
Man, it's
Yeah,
like
We're really good. About
11:30.
It's like I said, if the Dollar Tree had a discount section, we would be that version of the Pat McAfee show. We are armchair long snappers.
That is. I love it. I love it. Mostly because I love Pat's show, so I'll take any sort of comparison, even if it's a shitty comparison to his show.
Right.
So we're back on Friday. Anything fun this week leading up to it, or just we all working all week?
No,
Working.
I'm off this whole week.
Oh, that's right.
Piece
You're
of
off
shit.
this week.
That's why he's here on a Tuesday.
That's why I'm here. Yeah.
Showing
yeah,
up.
I'm sorry. It's been a long day. I'm trying
All
this whole
good.
like getting up early thing. So I got out of bed at like 7:15 today, and my body's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
I've not tried any of that this week.
Well, no, you do it plenty enough every other day. So
That's
Yeah.
true.
sleep the
Seven-
fuck in.
7:30 is
So-
sleeping in.
Exactly.
Yeah, for real. So I want to make sure we take the time. I want to thank, Funny Man for jumping on with us. I still
Yes.
can't believe he literally did the show from the lobby of that comedy club and was walking on stage.
It was
That's
amazing.
fucking
Yeah,
amazing.
that was awesome.
That's
You don't see
fucking
that too often.
So, no, down to earth guy, and he wants to come back, which is even better. That's
Yeah,
cool.
that's I love that.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, boys. Well, we will be back on Friday, back here on YouTube. Guys, if you're watching this, make sure you subscribe, turn notifications on.
Share.
Hopefully, we have some more NFL news to talk about. So, yes, share this to your friend. Be a friend, tell a friend. As always, Rick, I know we touched about this on Friday. I'm going to hit it again because I feel like it's a big stigma. Dudes, talk to somebody if you need to. Reach out to one of us. Call somebody. Check on your friends, guys. Check on your strong friends, check on your weak friends, check on your friends you haven't talked to in a while. Just check in on people, man. Life's too
Definitely.
short.
Therapy
Life's too short.
wonderful.
Therapy's wonderful. If
Yeah.
you can't afford therapy, text me. Like shoot the show a DM and I will be your therapist. And I'm not a licensed therapist, so. But hey, I'll
Absolutely.
be here for you. So, all right, boys. We'll be back on Friday. We'll be live on YouTube. As always, I appreciate you both so much. Much love, and we will see you guys on Friday.
Peace.
Later.
Peace.